Okay, hey guys, welcome to the second video on Cane Creek, the newly released route that just came out for Train Sim World 2. I did kind of a first look video, just mainly checking out the route itself. This is going to be slightly different. We're actually going to try some operation on here, see what we can get going. We're on a train that's headed down to the Ex-Atlas Uranium Mine. This is LDP 46-B. We can get moving here. There we go. Apologies for the deep pause. I didn't think we're going to get moving there for a second. Anyway, we're in an AC4400 CW 6-axle Union Pacific paint. We've got the highly weathered livery, which honestly doesn't look too bad. It's nice and grimy and corrosive and rusted looking. Pretty gnarly. Holy reflectors, Batman on the sides. So yeah, we're gonna check out the operation mainly to see what there is to do. We'll do the actual potash mine at a later date. But I feel like this area is just as important for the route as the potash mine itself. So we're going to head down there and see what it's all about. It's kind of crummy that we didn't get the rail cars that come, you know, down to the Ex-Atlas mine. And we got these kind of rock hoppers in the back here that, you know, would otherwise be... In real life, they use kind of a articulated, it's like a flat car, if you will. Anyway, I got a photo over here that I can slide over since I have zero editing skills. Okay, maybe not. I'll add that in later. Forget I just said that. Anyway, so we're up here on the main line, the Union Pacific Green River sub, and we're about to start heading south down towards Moab. So essentially the way these trains are set up, it does go over it in the tutorial for the 4400, but you're going to want to go back in the back engine. Make sure the brakes in the rear engine, the distributed power, are cut out, and then you're going to put the brake on trail instead of lead. So just a heads up, if you're stuck or whatever, that's what you got to do. Just go back, set the other engine to trail, you'll be good to go. Here we go. Here's ours at the back. But yeah, it's a shame we didn't get the actual rail cars that work out here, because they're pretty unique. It's a different kind of loading facility. They're scooped and dumped into trucks, and then the trucks take these funky looking containers. They almost look like crypts or something of the like, but then they take that over to a crane, little dude in a box on the crane, and he picks it up off the back of the truck and he sets it down on the rail car, and then the train takes off once they basically got a full enough train. Anywho, check out some of the scenery around here as well. Somebody's got a farm, some property up here or something. That's some tankers sitting over there in that siding. That is a crossing, but I refuse to use the horn because it is so bad. I kind of went into that in a slight rant in the first video, but I'm just not going to use it. Not going to do it. We have a major highway here we're about to roll under, which of course goes east and west as we are now heading south. And I think I'll cut the HUD off. Add a little extra challenge. Man, this thing's so high-pitched. It sounds like a handheld vacuum cleaner. AKA Dust Buster. Oh, look, and there we go. That ghost traffic happening again. Absolutely no traffic anywhere. Yet that plays. I don't know what the deal with that is. When you start this service, this is a service, by the way. This is not a scenario. When you start this service, it does that, and it is quite loud. But anyway, there's no denying that the scenery looks pretty good. I must say, like, the distant mountains are top notch. You know, coming off Rivet's Arosa line, which is just not good at all. They nailed this scenery wise. Now it is a little lush. It is a little green. It's essentially the high desert. I mean, yes, there is grass and trees and bushes, but there's not much of it, and it's not a very humid environment, if you will. But I set it to autumn. That's what we're at now, and it's still kind of the same. So I was hoping there might have been, you know, a little bit of difference. So we are now going down grade, I believe. Try and get our dynamics set up here. Go ahead and use a little bit of air. Alright, it is working. I can't get the dynamic handle to work with the appropriate keys, though. Absolutely killing it here. Killing it. Alright, so that's where we're headed. This essentially is Moab right here, but a little bit of history about the place that we're going. Which I think, like I said, is a very large part of the route itself, not just the potash mine, you know, down in the canyon. Well, yes, that's cool and pretty. You know, there's a little bit of history here, and I enjoy history. I hope some of you do as well. So I like to try to interject and add, you know, some things like that, instead of just like, this is a train, you know, type of stuff like that. So anyways, The mine started in the 50s. There was a fella, I think we're going uphill, so let's add some throttle. Like in the early 50s, there was this geologist, I think his name was Charles Steen. But he found the largest uranium deposit in the United States, continental United States. So that information was obviously taken. It was the late 50s. You know, there was the Cold War a bit later. You know, it was countries flexing and all that good stuff. It was post World War II, of course. So anyway, it was found and utilized. It was basically processed, and of course the slurry was stored in an unlined pond. Again, you got to keep in mind it was the 50s. You know, that's pretty much all you got to say. And an unlined pond, which was literally right next to the Colorado River. So that was kind of an issue. But anyway, back then it wasn't. So it changed hands a couple of times. In its last years of operation, it was owned and operated by the Atlas Uranium Mine. I forget the name of the original owners. I can't remember at this time. But anyway, it was closed in 1984. The pond was capped. They also left a massive pile. We're talking like almost 100 feet high of tailings. You know, stuff that they didn't get capped in the pond, but it was thought, of course, to hold irradiated dirt and that it was leaching into the river. And there were tests done, you know, on fish and aquatic life and things of that nature. And there were some high values of some not so great things, minerals, chemicals, all that good stuff in there. So anyway, the Department of Energy took over in 2001. So yeah, they, you know, it's 2000. They're like, hey, we got to clean this up. We cannot leave this out here. This is bad. You know, not only is it going into the Colorado River affecting this area, but it's led all the way to California. And, you know, California is very dependent, drinking water and agricultural wise, on, you know, on rivers that come out of the north and the east. So they had to get on top of that. So the DOE did. They took over in 2001. In 2005, they announced plans to take up several million tons, like 10, something like that. And it was to be moved by rail, which is what is happening to this very day. The holding site where they took the stuff from and to was up in Crescent Junction, where we just left, essentially about 30 miles away. A little up the road from where we just left, but that is where it is stored to this day. But anyway, it's moved. Like I said earlier, it's piled into a truck. The truck drives next to the rail. A dude in a crane picks it up, puts it over on the articulated kind of flat car thingamabob. It's a special rail car. I don't know exactly what to call it, if I'm honest, but anyway, that's how it's moved. And I think that's why, you know, between Dovetail and Skyhook Games, why they didn't fully flesh that out. And it sucks. It would have been nice if they did, because that would have been really cool. But they would have had to, I don't know, I guess create the trucks and the crane and the whole process of moving, you know, the stuff to and fro. Because I don't think trains leave cars down there. I think what happens is a train, like we are now, will take empties down there and then they'll be filled. So, I mean, I kind of understand their reasoning, but, you know, it still sucks that it didn't happen. But the fact that they decided to use these blows my mind. I don't get it, man. It's, you're talking about storing uranium tailings in open top, basically gondolas. That's just wacky. It's really wacky. I mean, if anything, and I believe I saw someone mention this about a month or so ago, if anything, they should have used, you know, if you're going to use an incorrect car, at least use an incorrect car that looks somewhat similar to the real deal. But anyway, they could have used those trash containers that we had on Northeast Corridor in 2000. Well, what was it called? Train Sim World 2020, I think. Something like that. It was Train Sim World 2020, whatever. But we kind of had some cars that would have matched that. So I feel like they could have used something like that, painted them a different color. These things in real life are kind of like a brick color, real dark red, almost maroon. But I feel like those would have been a lot more accurate, you know, than some freaking rock hoppers. Just saying, though, you know. We got a bit of a climb here. I want to cheat and look at the HUD. Nice little bridge. That's a pretty area right there. Wow. That's pretty cool there. That's a pretty deep wash coming out of those hills back there. That looks lovely. Oh, yes. And here we go, guys. This is what I'm talking about. This is why the Department of Energy stepped in. We cannot have, you know, uranium just floating about because we have got levitating rocks. And that's bad. Anyway, jokes aside, this is a nice looking area, though. Aside from that. So anyway, the rail line follows. Yee! That road right there. Wow. And again right there. Wow. I guess you're not supposed to be looking at this stuff. Maybe that's their excuse. But this railroad follows the highway that goes down into Moab very closely for the most part. All right, we've got a grade right now. We might need to pay attention here. Now there are 3 significant grades on the branch that comes down out of Grand Junction, and this is one of them. I think the 2 higher ones are well over 1%. That's about 0.5%. Is the sound stuck, or have I just forgotten how bad these sound straight out of the box? I got a mod that I've been using for the Sandpatch grade 4400s. There it goes. Now we're going downhill. But anyway, back in the latest article, I remember reading, I think it was from 2020, the uranium tailings that leave on these special rail cars, they were moving like 500 of these per week, so it's quite a bit. But it was, you got to think, 10 million tons of this stuff. So it's quite a bit, and it's lightly irradiated, I guess you could say, but it still probably ain't very fun, working around this stuff. But anyway, the site itself is like 500 acres, and the actual pile of the uranium tailings was about 150 acres, somewhere around there. Yay. Another bridge here. I'm not sure why this train feels so heavy, but it should not feel this heavy. I think I'm pretty sure I got everything set up correctly. We are climbing a little bit now. It's just gone up to 0.3. But, you know, we kind of knew, not to kick a dead horse, we kind of knew the rolling stock. Those of us that have been paying attention as far as the dovetail streams and articles, stuff like that, pictures, we kind of knew we were going to get the same stuff, rolling stock wise, you know, and that is not good. Like, that's got to change, hopefully. I completely understand the whole thing about the excuse from not being able to procure sounds for American rolling stock during the pandemic, but my question has stood firm. What was the excuse before the pandemic? I just feel like it's a very clever way of them just kind of writing it off, and hopefully that comes to a close, because, you know, the North American fans, or just fans of the North American stuff in general, are not too happy with this kind of stuff over and over again. I certainly, for one, am not. The sounds have got to be there. It was great with Caltrain. They did one hell of a job with Caltrain. They actually sent some of their team to Caltrain, you know, for photos, study, sounds, riding on the trains, all kinds of stuff. Like, they got that done. And that's what we need some more of. Just got an achievement. Yippee! Just saw some more floating rocks as well. That's cool. We got a 0.8% right now. Going to give it a notch 7. So they can do it, you know. They can get it done. But again, you know, when I think back to stuff like the Caltrain route, they weren't churning content out at such a high rate of speed like they are now. And I feel like they just got that wheel spinning so fast, they just fling stuff to the wall to see what sticks, you know. And it's a shame, because the Caltrain stuff was good. The Caltrain route now looked, it almost looked like California was irradiated in some areas. It was really bad, but it was okay for the most part. But as far as like North American rolling stock and Train Sim World, Caltrain Peninsula Corridor was it. Of course, we had the Clinchfield Railroad that came out earlier this year. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that as well. Awesome. Having a covered wagon F7A and B unit in the game. Just an iconic piece of railroading and machine, and they did an okay job with that. The horn, interior wise, sounded pretty decent. Exterior is kind of funky, but again, we got the SD40 with a pretty much promise that the proper RS3L was going to be added to it, and that's, I feel like that's almost come and gone. Maybe they're hoping people will forget about it, but I promise you they have not. So again, who knows? I feel like if traditionally, if stuff is not correct upon release, it won't be corrected. Which is a shame. But then again, like some folks make quite a stink, and stuff is corrected. I mean, just look at some of Southeastern High Speed, you know. They went back and touched up on that quite a bit. Alright, got some curvy bits coming up here. Still climbing, by the way, 1.1. But scenery-wise, this place does look pretty damn good. It's I think it's up there with Clinchfield. You know, the Clinchfield look was very nice. Now, mind you, there are some spots on Clinchfield that it's almost as if they forgot to, you know, use some 3D grass and bushes and things like that for whatever reason. You know, but barring that, it looked pretty fantastic. And there's mile marker 10 right there. But, like, this is up there, man. I like the way it looks. Do I think it's a little bit too green? I do, but I feel like they knew if they just left everything kind of untouched and just like a arid, sandy, you know, clay rock look, it probably wouldn't look that great. Now, mind you, there's probably plenty of scrub and bush and stuff like that, but it's quite a bit. And the other thing is, one of the big glaring issues, you know, while I'm on my rant fest here, the railroad and the roadbed itself is something that's so funky. It's like you're not on a roadbed. It's like the rails are just right down on the dirt. You know, it's like you're in some old logging railroad where they would just literally move rails and throw them on the ground. And then the ballast, the right-of-way off the rails, is very dark, almost black. And then that stops, and then you've got the bright orange of the traditional, you know, topography around here. So I feel like that could have been done a bit better. Again, like, it sucks. I feel bad having to say stuff like, oh, I hope somebody mods that. I hope somebody can fix that. Because it shouldn't be up to that. It's nice that people do. It is flippin' awesome. Don't get me wrong. But something as basic as that, I feel like should have been. There's our traffic. All right. Love it. Yep. Good stuff, man. Alrighty. I don't know whose idea that was, but not a good one. It's no bueno. But anyway. It's a great looking place though. They seem to take care for the most part building this area, the route itself, but there are some things that look ridiculous, you know, some issues. Back where we started messing around earlier, I saw a couple of spires. If anyone's played Microsoft Flight Simulator as of the last year, some of you may remember the random spires reaching up into the heavens, just gigantic spikes of earth. Well, there's two of those I saw back off Grand Junction. We got a couple buildings, like I pointed out in the first video I made, of it's just buildings that don't have a fourth wall or a roof. They look weird as hell. I don't get how stuff like that's missed, you know. And then, of course, you got floating rocks here and there. You got the wrong kind of hoppers mixed in with the potash hoppers. Just weird stuff. All right, we're going down 1.2% right now, so throttle is off. We'll just hop out and look around. So we're getting kind of down off the high desert into the plateau here, or the valley. And a little wash here. Hey, look at that! They got a ditch with a screen over it. Wowzers. Yeah, I feel like this needs to be fixed. It's just all kind of the same color. Like, I get it, you know, crap gets down into the ballast. It gets dirty, but it's almost like too dark. And then the way it's just, you know, dark orange, dark orange. And yeah, I'm sure some stuff's probably like that in real life, but it's just the way it's done in the game. It does not transfer well. Whoa, there's a Rosa peeking her head out again over there. You silly Arosa. Go home, Arosa, you're drunk. Got some floating rocks over there, too. Let's see what's going on over here. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Just Now, who threw a pallet on top of the Connex? Silly. Bunch of sillies. Probably some youngins up to no good. There, slow down way too much. Brakes are a bit touchy on the initial reduction, if I may say. Got some floating stuff here again. It looks like a cookie. Now I want a cookie. Yeah, that's weird. Got a little dirt path. There's some more of those weird rocks not placed down correctly. That's you know, I don't know. Maybe they thought people may not look at stuff like that, but here we are doing exactly that. Alright, long straightaway here, and then we got the curve up yonders. Got some power lines following there. That's the top of the plateau over there. Moab's down that way. Got another ditch. These are kind of nice little touches right here. These ditches. There's some garbage down here. That's nice. I like that it's got the plate on them. Pretty cool. Dude, we're going downhill, right? 1.2% grade downhill, and we're holding a speed of 16 mile an hour. Bailing off what we got on the pipes, which I'm sure was nothing. But anyway. But yeah, there's a few other things like the SD42. It's got flashing ditch lights. As far as I know, Union Pacific does not use flashing ditch lights. There may be a couple of odds and end, units here and there that might, but as a whole, they don't. Just little things like that people notice and matter, and I feel like they could have taken the time to correct it, and who knows. Anyway, let's hop back in the cab. Went way too slow, but it's a simulator, or it's supposed to be, and with a simulator, details matter. They matter so much. And when little things like that are done, it just kills it. Like on these, without the window on the door and the different ditch lights, they initially had the wrong handrails as well. Just little odds and ends, Alright, we're headed downhill again. I think that is a regional airport, that thing right there off to the right, that kind of resembles a traffic control tower. Maybe it's a prison. Yeah, no, it's an airport. You know what? I think I can hear a faint aircraft. Yay. Whew. Oh, man. What? It's like a friggin' grain tower. What? How? Do they use ESP? Like telepathic? How do they see? How do they see stuff? I mean, I guess technically they don't need to see stuff. You know, they got the radar, but still, it's funky, dude. But you know, the land, I like it, man. It's cool. I've always had a fascination with the desert. I've never been to it in real life. Would very much love to go out west, Arizona, you know, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, Idaho, Nevada, anywhere. So it's nice to have a different, totally different kind of biome in Train Sim World. It's expanding a little bit, which is nice. Yeah, you can hear a jet. I don't see a jet. I hear a jet. That mountain back there. That's pretty darn easy to see. I'm just always stunned that people miss stuff like that, to be honest. I mean, my intention is never to just come across as just straight up bitching about this. That is not my intention at all. It's just little things like that just should have been fixed, you know, should have been caught. Instead of just, you know, trying to rush it out there to get that next project going, you know what I mean? Which seems to be the case with a lot of Train Sim World 2 stuff. Man, it's hard to tell whether you're going up or down out here. I'm speeding a little bit, but that's alright. So the highway, as you saw back there, cut over us, and it's now on the left side of the track. I mean, they did add some graffiti to the rail cars, but it's like the same tag over and over again. That's one greedy urban artist. I'm gonna go and do every single rail car. Oh, that ear-piercing sound out of these things. Not good. It's more of a whine. Not whatever that noise is. And the trucks, woo-wee! Man, you can see straight across to the other side. Oh, man. You could throw a football through there. It's just, it's interesting. I think Skyhook is mainly based in the UK, right? I don't really know, but I think they are. And it was just interesting that they went for this, you know. It's one of those things where I'm always pondering, you know, where you've got, let's talk about Train Simulator Classic. You've got the boys at Searchlight Simulation who are, you know, both North Americans that make some really freaking good North American stuff, right? For Train Sim Classic. Sadly, not Train Sim World. That would be amazing. But that ship has sailed, as far as I know. And of course, you've got Armstrong Powerhouse for, you know, the British stuff, the UK stuff. You've got, what is it, Virtual Rails for the German stuff. Well, in the realm of Train Sim World, you've kind of got that as well. I feel like Dovetail as a whole, maybe have a little bit more care and, you know, do a bit better with some of the UK stuff, because they're from there. It's probably easy to get reference material. You know, it's known that they use sounds from Armstrong Powerhouse, and then of course you've got the German stuff from TSG, who, if I'm not mistaken, I think he is a German. So, you know, what I'm getting at is it kind of sucks that we don't have an American or North American group, developer, what have you, that makes stuff that's North American, because I guarantee you they would take care in making such things, and they would be aimed at being the most decent they could be. Now, I'm not saying that it's got to be that way. It's nothing about, like, you know, regions or anything like that. It may sound kind of ridiculous how I'm laying it out, because I can't convey it as well as I'm thinking it, but, you know, just look at the guy that makes all the Dutch stuff, the rolling stock for the Netherlands. He's a British guy, I think. He's from the UK, so, you know, it doesn't always work that way, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I hope one day someone, you know, within the States has the wherewithal to step up and start making stuff for the North American content. Now, on a lighter note and a much more hopeful note, we may have just the thing with the upcoming rush hour with the Providence line that goes between Boston, Mass, and Providence, Rhode Island, and the guy that kind of made the thing is an American, and he had Dovetail's editor with Train Sim World, and he just kind of worked on it. And I guess Dovetail approached him, you know, and kind of took over the project to complete it. So I very much have hope that whatever I think his name is Brandon, I can't remember the last name, but I very much hope that is something special, and that Dovetail didn't take it and just throw it, you know, off a 30-story building to its death, certain death below, if you know what I mean. But, you know, we'll see. That's later this summer. What is that, another month? 3 more routes coming. Another month. But back to what I was saying about each, you know, region and you know, and stuff in Train Sim World. That's not necessarily true. There was a guy that helped immensely with, I think, the M7 and the M3 for Long Island Railroad, who's an American that actually lives up there. That got a lot of reference material for Dovetail. But, you know, Dovetail still made it, essentially, so... I just, you know, I could sit here and rage about it all day, and it wouldn't make a bit of damn difference, but, you know, I feel like the people that are into North American Railroad, and North Americans that are into North American railroading, would just be so much more receptive to, you know, Train Sim World stuff, if it were good. That's why people, myself included, you know, kind of continue to fall back on Train Sim Classic, because when it comes to North American stuff, there's no other place than Train Sim Classic. There really is not. That's got the best stuff. But anyway, those are just my thoughts and hopes and wants and prayers and wishes. But, you know, maybe Dovetail can, once travel restrictions are fully lifted and things of that nature, maybe they can get back out on the road, you know, send a couple of people to get actual, you know, reference material, sounds, photos, the feel, operations, you know, signaling, whatever, any and everything, like they did for Caltrain. I mean, they also apparently have a, or so they've said several times, and so I've read, they apparently have a really good relationship with Amtrak, but we had the ACS 64, we had the cab car, and the SW 1000, and they were good. They were modeled well, but the sounds on all of them weren't very good. You know, as far as operating the ACS on Northeast Corridor, there's quite a few buggy things, especially with the signaling, the ATC, the ACSES. So, I don't know. I feel like if, you know, maybe one of their own in-house developers, there, you know, I'm sure there's some guys and gals in there that may be into American stuff, North American stuff anyway. That you know, I hope there's just more of them, and try to take more care with making North American stuff in the future. Alright, we is just about there. I'm gonna shut my gob for a minute and have a sip of my drink here. Alright, this is a significant grade up here. Go to run 8. This highway that's been following us over here on the left, it was on the right. That's US 191 that runs down to Moab. It's starting to look quite imposing around here. This is another thing. This texturing of the ground, this super repetitive pattern. It's not a good look. I hope they can fix that. I don't know if it's just part of the Unreal Engine's tool sets, if it's their own proprietary thing, but it looks bad. You know, when it's covered in grass and bushes and rocks and all that stuff, it doesn't look so bad. But when it's bare like that, it don't look good. You know, maybe that's why they cover it with stuff. Because can you imagine this entire area without grass? Just looking like that. It wouldn't be a very good look. Got another siding right down here. I hear a dog barking. Hearing all kinds of weird sounds. I don't know what this is. Whoa! Whoa! What the what is that? Is this like a... Is this a joke? Is this... You know, because there's like stories out here of aliens and just weird stuff. What on earth? Ah! It just appears. It's not going away now. There we go. Ah, that's crazy. Jeez. All right, now it's 1.2% downhill grade. We got to come off of that quickly. There's our train. All right, we got 6 miles to MK. As I mentioned in the last video, whether you saw the last video or not, or you just didn't get that far, or you just didn't care, I'll say it again. MKEMKAY. That was named for the company that helped build this railroad down to the potash mine. I call it Morrison Knutson. You may call it Morrison Knutson. You may call it Morrison Knutson, but it's you know, it's M and K, so there you go. That's the name, MK spelled out. That's why that's called MK. MK. It's another pathetic attempt at humor. That road there, I think that goes to it's like a state park or national park out there. That God, we slowed down so much again. They call it like Island in the Sky or something, but essentially it winds its way up the plateau up here, and it kind of comes to a little peninsula, and you can just see for miles and miles in every direction. Looks like a very cool place. I think it's that road anyway. May not be. Gotta say the bridge structure looks pretty good. I think they got the trees right for the area, and this may be a new asset. I don't recall seeing these trees. I have no clue what they're called, but like willow or something? I don't know. They look kind of new though. Got another road over here. There's quite a few crossings as well, man. If you had a good horn and you were a horny person, you'd be in hog heaven, man. I'd be. But I just can't bring myself to pull that horn lever on this thing. God almighty. Look at that view, though. Gorgeous. There's no doubt, man. Like, they built the route well. Like, there's a route on Train Sim Classic that I'm pretty fond of. That's in my neck of the woods in Louisiana. That they built for the most part rivet. Called Livonia. The Livonia subdivision, but they had a hand in building that, and they, you know, as far as like route building, they, you know, they're all right. Just hit a huge speed reduction. Didn't see that coming. Oh, looks like we're definitely about to cut through there too. That's cool. That looks awesome. Little gauntlet. And some more floating rocks up there I just saw before the terrain loaded in. But anyway, yeah, they were pretty much given, you know, these engines from Dovetail. So then again, they do I said do they do modeling because they did a couple of the original models in Train Sim World. Some of the American locos. Did not mean to do that. That's a cool shot, man. Running through this gulch right here. I like that. Oh God! What and all that is holy is going on there? Sweet baby Jesus. Did again, you know, not to be a negative Nancy and just harp, but did no one see that in quality assurance or beta testing? It's insane. Flabbergasted. No, it's gone. That's so weird, man. And this right here, this is almost treated like a tunnel. The camera is real weird about it. Oh, we are speeding. There's a bit, and then there's a bit much. This falls into the bit much category. Get the dynamic brakes set up here. .2. Bit of radio silence there. I had to run and get me another beverage. Get topped off. This looks pretty darn cool down here. It's like some areas just extremely excel, and some not so much. This bit through here looks amazeballs. What is going on down there? It's like a weird haze. But I'm sorry, but the road bed just looks so off. You know, especially from up high. It doesn't look like... It almost looks like a street or a highway. You know what I mean? It's just so dark. It does not fit. The road itself looks better than that. They should have just taken that color and thrown the tracks on it. At this rate. It's funky. It does seem to be a bit of a haze. Maybe it's that the uranium tailings putting off a bit of a glow. There's that traffic again, man. That's so strange. But my God, I feel like you really get the scale, the feeling of the sheer scale of this canyon crawl right here. boy, we are down in it now. Deeper and deeper. There's nobody operating the engine. Oh my God. Let that setup sit there for about 10 seconds. Oh, now we're talking. Look at all the bushes right next to the line right here. Now that looks good. I feel like we're in Tatooine. If there's any fellow Star Wars nerds out there. This is nuts, man. See what milepost this is. 27. Little outcrop right there is pretty cool. Dude, that slowed us down way too much. The physics on these things are just not great. Could be better. Look at that though, man. Jeez Louise. What's that down there? Walmart's? This through here looks good, where it's stuff is a little bit closer to the rail bed. Now, is it always like that in real life? No. You know, there's a lot of flat sections, but it's just the ground textures that are used in Train Sim World that that don't help that. You know what I mean? There's the power station. So we're getting pretty close. I remember this from the first video. 0.8. Let's double check our pathing. Looks like we are ready to go. So yeah, essentially in the real world, the train will just pull up to this siding here, and they'll load up those flat cars, and they'll be gone. Get back up the line. There's the plateau of Moab down there. They just nailed it. The scenery, you know, coming off Rivet and their second Train Sim World outing. Not doing so hot with the first one, Isle of Wight. Definitely not doing so hot with the second one. I'd say Skyhook has got Rivet beat so far. without a doubt. Okay, maybe we're not going to the mine. I don't think they fill them with an elevator like that. So I don't know what the hell this is. I think the actual siding for the mine's a little bit farther down the line there. Right before you go in the tunnel. They do have one of those, cranes over there. Oh, maybe this is it. Yeah, this is. Okay. So I don't know what that elevator was back there. But that's it down there, guys. That is the old Atlas Uranium Mine. And this bit right here kind of looks like concrete. That may be the tomb, the original tomb. And then, of course, they left another mega pile somewhere else. But here's the end of the line. Okay. Had to do it. We're not quite there. Don't stop. The physics are really weird, I gotta say. I don't know what's going on, but this train acts as if it's a, 2-mile long coal train. I mean, we're downhill right now. We're going downhill. I think we clipped the buffer. Man, look at that. It's a good thing I don't give a good damn about these metals. I really don't. It's about the experience. Some of you may. That's perfectly fine. Also, maybe an excuse for doing so poorly. But it's mostly that I don't care. I promise you. But thanks for watching, guys. Video 2, just a rundown to the Ex-Atlas Uranium Mine. Next will probably be something down in Potash, maybe with the -2s. But that's it. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching, as always. Bye, guys.